Hi everyone. This is a technical analysis video on Apple. I wanted to see if we can get some trend lines drawn, horizontal support and resistance lines, and then determine whether Apple has further upside or downside in the weeks to come. On the screen, you'll see the weekly chart for Apple going back, let's see here, quite a long time. Wow, 81. So Apple's been around a super long time. I'm only only going to start drawing the trend line at about let's see here, 2004, 2005 time frame. So bear with me here. I'm gonna just eyeball this and let's see here. Now, if you remember, my way of drawing trend lines is that I typically use the weekly to give me the broad brush feel for um, price movement. And then I'll go to the daily time frame to get some more fidelity for an actual trade. So for now, this is just meant to give us a feel for where a trend might exist. Let's see here. Additionally, I use a purple trend line for something that's many, many years long. This way, I can see that it helps me readily see where price might um, really meet resistance or support. All right, so let's go to the daily. I'm not seeing a lot here from a weekly standpoint that I can plan out. Okay, let's go to the daily here. Okay, daily time frame. This is where I'll clean up my lines. As you can see on the weekly, this descending trend line isn't very clean. And using the way that I line up my lines, I like to line them up at the top of green wicks for resistance. Okay, like this resistance here. The next day you can see the red candle open up, but then close below it. So to me, this trend line resistance held here. Okay, you can see that the green candle here on 29 March hit it. Practically same thing with the red one here. It opened up, closed below. So this is, and here's another retest. All right, so I'll clean this right here a little bit. Let me find the end here. Here's the end. Pull it back a little bit so we can grab it and kind of wiggle it down to about there. Okay, so to me that's a legit trend line. All right, there. I'm gonna take a look here at this lower trend line. Now, you can see that there are, there's this touch here, a reaction. A few reactions through here. It's a little bit messy through this spot. I'm gonna see if I can find a good, I kind of like, let's see. So what I'm looking at are, as I move this trend line up and down, okay, I'm observing where this trend line, as I move it up and down, where it has the cleanest touches and reactions, okay? It's not perfect. This is really an art, but it's meant to tell a story. Okay, if price is going through a trend line, for example here, you want price to go through with a big candle because that means it has to use a lot of force to break down under it or push through it. So you can see here, this candle, big forceful candle down, okay? Whereas this one, it sits on top of it. It's fine. Here's I guess a fairly sized candle to push through it. whereas this red one is just sitting on top. It's fine. It's not as clean through here as you can see. I'm going to move it a little bit more just to kind of get a feel from a narrative standpoint, what feels right. So maybe this one. I kind of like this one. Okay, this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this green one. Let's switch it real quick. Okay, that green one, this green one. I like how this red one here sits on top. This one kind of went under. It's okay. Here's a forceful one that got through. All right. Uh, as well as that one. So I kind of like these. Okay, so let's leave it there for now. I'm going to go to the far left, back in time, take a look how it looks down here. Interesting. Okay, so here, oh, look, pretty nice. You see that price came down, rests on top, gapped it down pretty far, bought it back up, but it's retested and failed at the end of the day. All right, so I think this line works. All right, so I like it. So now let's go to more recent times and draw some horizontal support and resistance lines, okay? If you've watched my other videos, you'll remember that I like to draw horizontal lines based on peak volume candles. So you'll see like this one, when you look down here, I'll just scan across and find the tall ones, okay, the tallest ones, and draw the horizontal line at the top of the candle, of the price candle. So I'll go up. So this is on this day, I'll follow the candle up to here. All right. So it's this one. And I usually put it to the side so I can see it. And I put a horizontal line there. Okay. And I can always adjust it a little bit if it's too far up. I like it like right there. Not perfect. Okay. And let's find, so that's that one. Let's go to this red one here. Okay. So then I'll do the same. So this red one, go up. You see it up there. Draw the horizontal line. Whoops. On TradingView, this is a TradingView app. It's Alt H. Okay. All right. So that one, this one, head over here. Here's a really tall one. Okay. And you go up. This is essentially a doji candle. Whoops. What did I do? Hit the wrong button. Sorry. This one. Alt H. Okay. So you can see immediately that there are some support and resistance horizontal lines that tell a story. And I'm going to scan some more. Let's see. This green one here is way up there at about right here is this candle. I'll zoom in for us. It's this candle here. So about there. And then let's put this one here also. This one is right there. This guy here is a tall one. A lot of volume, 195 million. I'll put it right there. All right, so any more? So I'm going to scan. I want to add a couple more underneath here, okay? Because price is sitting at this 150 zone, and I want to find some lower. What I'm doing is I'm looking back in time to find some lower price zones, okay? So like here. And so when I'm over here, I'll scan across here to find volume. So here's a good one right here, this one. So I'll add it here. Because this way I can plan our trade if we need to take a trade. Let's see here. Okay. This red one next to it. This green one here. All right, let's see how this is. And you can see it, like this green one here, as you go across, you can see that it's support. Some support here. It's a decent line. Okay, so let's go back to where price is now and see what story we can build on this. If you remember, I am not a financial advisor, and I don't play one on YouTube, but I do love doing technical analysis. All right, now let's add the, actually, let's add another couple of trend lines real quick. And so this one, maybe we'll go like this. All right. Okay. All right, so now let's do the momentum indicators. Okay, I've got RSI here. You can see that, pretty obvious. And PPO, both. I use both of them to help me determine momentum. What's interesting is I'm scanning price up here, okay, this high and along this trend line. And to me, the RSI is just trending. It's kind of following it. There's no divergence, okay? So to me, it's an agreement. PPO is an agreement up to here, and then here there's some bullishness. So there's actually a little bit of bullishness on the PPO down here. It doesn't mean that there's going to be, an immediate bullish action, but it's possible. And we'll see it on the RSI here, though. And this is, yeah, it's just what I'm doing is here, I'm going to double click on PPO. Okay. What you can see is I'm looking at this spot here. Okay. I'm looking at this high on the PPO versus this peak. So this one here is a higher high. That's how I determine this upward sloping green candle. Okay. Or not green candle, green arrow. That's how I annotate it. All right. So, yeah, I don't see. And what's interesting is even when we zoom out all the way back to December 21, this is when Tim Cook sold. He sold like in November. I think he sold. It's interesting. Price is still going up. So Apple is the last FANG stock to hold price. It's done really well. It hasn't crashed like Google and Microsoft and Facebook. So I don't think the market will reach a bottom until Apple has tanked. And from the way that we just drew the horizontal support and resistance lines, I feel if Apple can get to maybe 129, let's see, what would that be? So from the high, which was here, okay, let's see, from the high to about 129, which is down this zone, it's about 30%. It's really not a crash, but and that's another from where it is now. It's another 13%. I don't know. I can't really determine another big support area unless we get to like down here, where there's ample volume here. You can kind of see these volume candles. Well, maybe I'll just draw them in. So this is how I do it. And you can kind of see the activity. That one. Let's see this red one here. Oops. And then, yeah, there's some down here. This green one here. And this red one here. I should have like some background music or something. I'm not sure about how YouTube does copyrighted music, so I'll look into it so that it doesn't get too boring for you. Just empty air while I go through my charts. But you can see, just from a visual standpoint, these zones, okay? The lines are a little bit tighter up here, horizontal support lines. But there's, I feel once price starts to move, especially once it gets under 142, this is a big move down. Okay, there's not a lot of huge support lines within here. So I think once price gets below this, it's pretty quick down here. There's some zones of support here. And once it gets under 120, right, then it's pretty thin. And I use that phrase kind of lightly because there's plenty of support along the way, but from a high volume standpoint, the way in which I do my support lines, there isn't a lot here. So to me, if Apple wants to hold, it better hold at 129. Otherwise, I feel there's a slippery slope to get us to 88. Okay. All right. So where do I think it's going to go? Well, right now the PPO shows a little bit of bullishness. RSI doesn't confirm it. Usually I prefer to look at RSI first, so I will do that. I think just further lower prices up to about 142. So let's look how this week goes. Maybe it gets down to 142, test it. You know, all right, I'll draw the lines because this way we can come back and see how my prediction is. So I feel it may bounce around. Yeah, maybe it goes this way, bounces off the trend line resistance, bounces down, bounces off this trend line down here. Yeah, maybe goes up back up there, and finally fails. Okay, we kind of zigzag its way down to this. All right, maybe over the course of I don't know, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, who knows? But that's my prediction for Apple. Okay, and that will help push the Qs further down to triple Qs. All right, if you found this video useful, please give a like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about Apple and where the general market might be going. Have a look at the market sector videos as well. I did it for the triple Qs and for the other sectors. But most importantly, good luck with your trading and stay green. Thanks for watching.